Hi guys. Well, look at the pile of journals. it's uh it's quite a mass of, you know, paper and fabric and stuff. um so I finished these all up this morning. They are little golden books, and there are 15 of them that I have actually already listed on Etsy. Um, just wanted to do a quick kind of flip through on a couple of them, just to kind of let you guys see what's inside of them, and you know, let you know that they are finished, and so that I can put them in my shipping room and out of my studio. It's been this was huge. Okay, this was a big deal. I started out actually with 18, and for a couple of different reasons I wound up actually only completing 15. One reason was that I didn't have the book pages for two of them, and then one of them I just didn't really like it. I didn't like the cover, and it just bleh. So I didn't wind up doing that one. But anyway, so let me kind of push these out of the way, and I will do a flip through and kind of talk to you about what's in them. So they're all vintage little golden books. Most of them are prior to 1980. Not all of them. There's any of the ones that have the barcode on the back. Those are 1980 or newer. But I think I only have about, I don't remember how many, but there's not that many. Like I said, most of them are prior to 1980. So, so I'll just do a flip through on one, a complete flip through, and then here, whoops, I gotta move this a little bit, and then I will show you each one kind of individually, and so you can get an idea at least of the covers. Inside, they're all very, very similar. A little bit different color, that kind of thing, but each one basically has the exact same content. I used a bunch of vintage advertising and that kind of stuff, so obviously those are going to be a little bit different, but should have the same number of pages and that kind of thing. So very, very similar. These were super, super fun to make. It's the first time I've ever done the little golden book journals, and I really, really, really had fun making them. I was inspired by my good friend Karla Frizzelle, and her channel is actually linked in my video description normally. So check out her channel, because she does some really, really cool little golden book journals too, and lots of other types of junk journals too. So I think she has some embellishment packs that she's thinking about listing too. So check out Karla Frizzelle. Let me zoom in just a teeny bit here. And I tried to choose a background that was pleasant, So anyway, the spines on all of these are actually made out of a sort of patchwork of feed sack cloth that I have collected, and mostly just little scraps of feed sack. But so each one of these is a little bit different. I'm not going to say that they're quilted, but they definitely have a quilted look. I actually wound up just sewing in a grid on these, but had so much fun embellishing these and adding all of the the scrappy kind of fabric and that kind of stuff on them, and buttons, and had a really, really good time making the the dangle charms for these. So general theme for all of these journals I'm going with is basically motherhood. And I was going to go with childhood, but then I thought, no, this is actually really more geared towards motherhood type of feeling. And so there's a lot of different types of content inside each journal that I'll talk about as I get to it. But I wanted to give you that mindset because that's really kind of where they're coming from. And so the reason I mentioned that right away is that there's a contrast that I want you to notice in each of these, mainly with the bead charm contrast to the kind of, like the blingy, sparkly, kind of modern sort of look of the bead charm, to the fabric, softer, quilted, muted colors, and kind of pick up that contrast there. So I just feel like, that's an aspect of motherhood that I think we all possess if we're moms, and even if we're not, but we have a soft side and we have another side. We have a side that's more sparkly and blingy and, even if it's only once in a while. So the idea, for me is that, these would represent little trinkets that, I might have picked up along the way, maybe pieces of jewelry that I've had that have broken, or, just things that maybe somebody gave me that meant something, just memories, in the sparkly kind of nature of this whole charm. And then, basically like the feed sack cloth and the scraps of fabric and that kind of thing, that kind of represents, my softer side and the nurturer in me and in all moms, and we also appreciate pretty things and, the quilted kind of look, for me, lends itself to like a comforting, nurturing type of feeling. So anyway, I'm just carrying on now, but I did want to point that out because I feel like that's kind of important. So so each one, I did do a book corner. I did do corners on all of them. Some of them have different corners, some of them have the, thicker, heavier, corners, not for any particular reason, just because I wanted some variety. But, so let me get in here, and each one is bound with a double, vintage seam binding. And so inside you're going to find, a pocket on the front and the back cover. Most of them are going to have a typing textbook page, and then also pages from a journal that I picked up that was kind of like a guided journaling type of book. So, and I did not tea dye everything in the book. In the books, I did tea dye some of it though. I'm working on it. I'm working on not tea dyeing or coffee dyeing everything. So this one has a glassine bag filled with just some little random, tickets and little pictures of bugs and things like that, and just random ephemera. I used some recipe cards out of a vintage recipe box that I picked up recently on my trip to Arizona. So each one of these journals has at least, I would say, 5 or 6 recipes in it from that box of recipes. And then this is vintage wrapping paper. Of course, the pages to each of the books. So the entire story is in the book. Okay, I'm not going to say it's in order because I gave up trying to keep it in order. But all the pages are in the book. Some of them I wound up folding over, some of them I trimmed, some of them I made into pocket pages and that kind of thing, because when you disassemble these golden books, your pages wind up being a little bit too wide. So, you know, it's just an issue that you have to deal with. And still keep it intact as a signature so that you can stitch it into the book. So you always wind up with them being a little bit wide. But that's okay, because there's a lot of options there. So, and so then vintage wrapping paper. This is actually from a gardening book, a Better Homes and Gardens gardening book. And this is some vintage wrapping paper. And then I have tons of different kids books, vintage children's books, and vintage cookbooks. You know, we're moms, we cook, we garden, we read stories to the kids. Our entire world at some point is surrounded by this type of imagery. And I just, you know, I kind of miss that in my life. I don't really have that anymore now that all my kids are basically grown up. And, you know, I have my grandkids, they come around, but, you know, not as much as they used to. So, and I kind of miss having that type of imagery in my world, you know. So I like it. I like it again. It's, you know, let me turn that down. I like the feeling of that again. So that's good. All right. Sorry about that. So then there's some library cards that I made into tags, that kind of thing. This is a children's music book, like a, you know, sheet music. I can't remember what the name of the book was, but I love that it has these drawings and stuff on it. It's really a cool music book. Different kids books. This is some advertising out of Better Homes and Gardens, a 1945 issue. So most of the ephemera and the book pages and stuff in all of these journals is going to be from early 40s up to about 1970, okay? And my thinking is that technically, you know, a woman would still maybe be of childbearing years for those decades, you know? It's possible that somebody could have a child in the early 40s and then have another one close to the 70s, you know? I'm just saying. So, and so it's kind of a hodgepodge of 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, right? I know it's a stretch, but it is possible. Lots of wallpaper samples and scraps. Just beautiful children's books. I mean, I just love these pictures. It's a little envelope that I made into a paper clip, a little mini envelope that I made. There's a little ticket in there. And some more of that. This is a Dr. Seuss dictionary. You know, making bread, reading to the kids, wrapping paper, some more dictionary, lots of journaling space in each one, random, you know, tags and ephemera in all of them. There's another tag in here. Bingo card. Maybe mom likes to play bingo, you know, or bridge. There's definitely going to be a representation of bridge in these books. I used some bridge score sheets and stuff like that. A little hanger paper clip here, and another recipe card. Some decorating. This is from the Better Homes and Gardens decorating book, and some gardening. You know, pages out of a gardening book, the Gold Bond stamp books. You know, these are awesome to use in other, you know, collages and stuff like that. More recipes. Just a little camera that I cut out of a book and made into a paper clip. And there's this There, I have this book of children's activities. Like, I think it was published in sometime in the 50s, and it's just a whole book of activities for kids. So it's really cool. There's actually some recipes for like modeling paste and stuff like that. And then some sewing representation in each one with some instructions and some pattern tissue, and then maybe buttons or snaps or hook and eyes or something like that. Postcards from our family vacations. Some more wallpaper samples, because, you know, we're always wanting to redecorate and that kind of thing. I just thought it would be kind of silly to add some band-aids to each one. So I think I added 2 band-aids randomly throughout each one of these books. And some flashcards. And some recipe ideas. This is some wrapping paper from one of the baby's gifts or something. Some order forms. This side's got the Montgomery Ward's bill and another receipt from some kind of payment to a furniture company, and some flashcards. Very representative of, I think, just an everyday kind of stay-home mom's sort of life, you know, which I was for almost 20 years. So, you know, I feel like I have a pretty good idea of what that entails. So, lots of vintage book pages. This is actually coffee dyed paper from a flow book. Or actually, it's tea dyed. I always say coffee dyed, but I mean tea dyed. Because I really do use tea and not coffee. Most of the time. Sometimes I use coffee, but usually it's tea. And because I always wanted to go to Paris, I made sure and represented Paris in my journal. I thought that cake looked so pretty and yummy. There's another receipt back there. Most of the receipts I have in my stash of ephemera are from like the 60s. Some go back to the 40s though. And then here's just this is just an empty paper bag that you can store stuff in, different memories and things like that. There's the bridge score sheet. And some more book pages. There's a French dictionary page because gotta get ready for that trip to Paris. Some more receipts. A little sample of feed sack cloth in here. Get in there. Some more advertising. Better Homes and Gardens. Or no, that was Ladies Home Journal. And there's North Carolina, because that's where my friend Karla lives, and I'm going to be visiting there next year. Another flip out. So this is a page from the actual book. And so this is just my way of kind of making sure that it's still usable. And then this is actually cut out of another book, and then coated with triple thick to make it into like kind of a stiff pocket. Another bridge score sheet. Some more flow paper that's not tea dyed. See, I'm trying not to tea dye everything. How to make puppets. There's another Band-Aid and some more wallpaper. This is like a experiment. It's like a book of scientific experiments for kids, which I thought was kind of fun. Lubricating doors and windows. You gotta know how to lubricate doors and windows when you're a mom, just saying. Another bridge score sheet and another page out of that, you know, journal, that prompting journal. So, okay, and then each one, you know, I lined the inside of the book. I made my own spine, obviously. The spines on these are 2 inches wide. And then I think they measure, I can't remember, I think they're like 8 by 6 or something. Yeah, 8 by 6, and then the 2-inch spine. So, and then this is going to just tie back in a bow. Lots of room to grow in these. I did not overstuff them. You know, they don't have hundreds of pages. They probably each have about 125 to 150 pages, counting front and back, and then, you know, there's pockets and all that stuff. So, but lots of journaling space in each one, lots of real estate. So this is the Forest Hotel. And I'm just going to show you the cover of the rest of them because honestly, they're all very, very, very similar. The Forest Hotel is prior to 1980. I don't remember the date, but I know that it's definitely more than 35 years old. So, and then A Name for Kitty, and same story on this one. This one is probably the oldest one of the whole series. Each one does have the, you know, the bead charm and stuff on it, and they're all different. Each one is different, you know, and each one has at least one of my little tiles on it too. And then a little flower, and some coins, and different charms and keys and that kind of stuff. I really had fun making these. Really, they were super, super fun. So there's some buttons on the spine, some more patchwork, some buttons and flowers, and then the key charm, the, you know, bead charm on the front of this one. This one has one of my little teeny ones that has a little word in it, you know. And then, what does it say? Grow. Okay. So that one is a baby's mother goose. That's baby's mother goose. And that's patty cake, I guess. So this is the Animal Dictionary. This is another pretty old one. And then here's the bead charm. And I put some eyelets onto some little scraps of like button card or hook and eye card, and attached that onto the charm. On some of them, not all of them. Okay, and this one's Rags. This one was in the 70s, I believe. A little more understated on the charm on this one. But I didn't treat the covers with anything. They were all in actually really good condition. If you're, you know, if you're concerned about preserving the cover, you know, you could always just go over it with like a clear coat varnish or something like that. But honestly, I think they're fine just the way they are. Yeah, see this one, 39 cents. I think this one might be earlier than 70s, like I thought. Yeah, and here's the 4 little kittens. Just a couple of little tiles and charms, some bling. Super fun to make. I could not stop working on these. Once I started on them, I was like, oh my god, I gotta finish these. Because I was really, really excited. They're just, I don't know, they're just kind of different for me. You know, they're kind of outside my comfort zone. And so I feel like that was, you know, that was really good for me. And, you know, everything changes and I'm included in that. So, you know, and I'm happy to share them all with you guys. I showed them on my live stream for a minute, a couple of them earlier today, but, and this is the little rabbit. Oh, that's the tawny scrawny lion. I guess I didn't say that. That's the tawny scrawny lion. And that one's pretty old too. This is the lively little rabbit. Quite a few little beads, and I tried to, you know, kind of work with the colors and stuff like that when I was adding the trim on the spines. Some of it's elastic, some of it's not. And this is all still part of my de-stash effort too, you guys. I have a lot of little golden books, and so, you know, I'm really trying to use up some of my stuff. And I also still have tons of paper and that kind of thing, so I wanted to use it. And, you know, the era that a lot of this stuff comes from hasn't really lended itself to what I've been doing lately. And so I wanted to do something that was a little bit more modern than my normal, like, 20s, 30s, 40s kind of style, so, or even earlier. So this is the Whispering Rabbit, and this one does have a barcode. I don't remember the year on it, but I think it's 81, I think. And then you can't do a little Golden Book collection without the Pokey Little Puppy, and you know, it's just I think it's one of the most popular little Golden Books to make into a journal. I don't know why. It just because that puppy's so cute, and all of the images of the puppy inside are adorable. I forgot to mention that each one of these books has a different fabric tab, kind of. How do I say it? Like pattern, okay? Like each one of the tabs is actually 2 layers of fabric, okay? So for the most part, they're a layer of ticking cloth and then a layer of feed sack. Sometimes I use 2 layers of ticking cloth, or 2 layers of feed sack or something like that. But that's just because I wanted them to be somewhat sturdy, and I put a lot of tabs in each one. They average about 9 tabs per book. So the Pokey Little Puppy. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, and then another that I don't think you can do a series of little Golden Book journals without doing the Golden Egg Book. And this one was kind of hard to work with as far as the colors and stuff, because I don't really have a lot of red except for the ticking cloth. So, but I did pull some purples out of it and stuff like that, just with my imagination. Anyway, and look at how long the bead charm is on this one. And I managed to attach a few buttons too. So, the Golden Egg Book. Each one of these is also 3 signatures. I don't know if I mentioned that. I love this one. It even has like an old sticker on here. I just left it on there. It was an old price sticker, and some kind of total 70s colors of buttons and stuff on here. A bead charm. It's a little bit shorter, but I thought it was really cool, colorful, and blingy. And the little tile here says Dream. This is Duck and His Friends. And then Scuffy the Tugboat. This one actually has one of my handmade paper beads on it. There's like some embroidery floss wrapped around it and that kind of thing. Almost like a boho bead, I guess. And some charms and stuff like that. I didn't go crazy with buttons on this one, but I didn't think that it needed it. I like it the way it is. And I love the colors on the spine. Scuffy the Tugboat. And then the Little Red Caboose. So cute. This is one of the cutest books. So, because of the way the pocket was situated on the inside of this one, I did the charm right on the corner of the spine on the back. So you'll notice I did the spine kind of situated on the front, or the charm, I should say, not the spine. I did the charm situated on the front of most of them. So this one I kind of have to pull it over to show you. Gosh, I hope I haven't been completely out of frame this whole time. Anyways, but I really like the way this one came out. It's kind of colorful and funky, and I love the green and the purple and orange and all the different colors. The Little Red Caboose. And the last one is the Book of A. And I'm not sure if they did every letter of the alphabet, but boy, wouldn't that be cool to find all of them if they did. Anyway, so this is the last one, and this is definitely vintage. It's, prior to 1980. I think this one is actually from the early 60s. So, okay. So that is all 15 of my little Golden Book junk journals. And I appreciate you guys watching. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you, you know, have a second. I appreciate it. And check out the shop. You're still gonna get free shipping on any $50 purchase in the U.S. So I'm not 100% sure, but I think that because of the weight of these, they might be able to go first class, but I kind of doubt it. So I think what's going to happen is they're going to wind up going priority mail in a padded envelope. So that's a good thing for you guys. All right. Well, listen, you guys take care. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on my live stream either Sunday or Wednesday at 4 p.m. Okay. Bye. Love you.